My daughter was in third grade when we really began to notice that there were some problems in her learning. She was falling a lot farther behind than the kids around her that were her age. Math was just difficult. Trying to remember math facts, we did everything. We skipped, we jumped, we did everything we could. Nothing would stick. The same with reading. It was very interesting how she could memorize sounds and could read fine as long as the words rhymed. But if they didn't rhyme, she would guess, and that's when it really became clear that she was having difficulty. The attention was another issue. She could not pay attention. She had an imagination like you just wouldn't believe, and it was very difficult to get her to focus on the mundane, like reading, writing, and doing math. And so we just didn't know what we were going to do. My daughter was in third grade when we began to notice that there were some real challenges with her learning. We were quite concerned. Reading and writing were very difficult. Math was horrible. She couldn't remember her math facts. What was interesting too is we could tell in so many other ways how intelligent she really was, but those basic reading, writing, and math skills were just not coming along. I remember one time in particular, I decided to start taking some notes and documenting some of these things so that when it came time to go and get some professional assessment, I wanted to have some data. I had given Sarah an English test that she needed to take. She was doing probably grade level 1 work, even though she was in third grade. And I got her started and I said, just go ahead and take this English test, Sarah. And I sat behind her so she couldn't see what I was doing, and I was taking notes on my computer. It wasn't 30 seconds or a minute into the test, and she got off her chair and she came up to me and she whispered, Mommy, when I grow up, I'm going to be a private detective. And I remember thinking how much that was like her, how school was not the thing she was focusing on. It was that wonderful imagination that was so beautiful about her. But I also knew at the same time that we had a problem. School was not the thing she was focusing on. It was that wonderful imagination that was so beautiful about her. We had a difficult situation in front of us where our daughter was having a hard time learning how to read, write, and do math. So we were introduced to the National Institute of Learning Development, or NILD. What an exciting adventure that was for me to finally get some tools on my belt that I could help my daughter. They provided a master's level course, so I began my master's degree doing this program. My colleague also got the training. Together we began working with kids in our community, and almost immediately we began to see a difference. The first thing that changed for my daughter was her confidence. She began to read things that she never would have attempted to read before. In 2006, we became aware of other families who had children that were having difficulties with learning, who needed the same kind of hope that we needed when our daughter was struggling. And that's really what prompted us to start what is now the JoshuaInstitute, a place where families could come and receive the kind of help that we had. We've watched the same kind of improvement in so many kids, just like we saw in our daughter. It's been amazing to watch, which has shown us that there's a need here. And maybe you feel that. Maybe you feel that same need for hope and encouragement for a struggling student you may have. I'm telling you, it was just an amazing experience for us to watch how these tools that have been research-based have made a difference not only in our daughter, but in so many kids. We went from just a handful of students and a couple others trained in the same kind of training that I had, to now a staff of about 25 people. We have lots of different coaching services that not only is similar to the training that I had for Sarah, but in 12 years we've watched that expand to many other different ways that we can help. It started as a small organization, has become something so much bigger. Today we can provide testing services that can help identify what the needs of students are. And we also have a school that can help kids who need that more full-time help with the way that they learn. Kids as young as preschool all the way up to adults. In fact, one of my very first students when we began the Joshua Institute was 50 years old. So for some, It just looks a little bit different, but they need that intervention, that help that can unlock the potential that they didn't even realize they had.